It's Thursday, July 27th, 2023. This is Podzilla 1985, and this is Podzilla After Dark on the Podzilla 1995. God fucking damn son of...
Down, Shannon, down.
Don't talk, Lindsay! The people can't see your face! Don't come near me! Anyway, this is Podzilla After Dark on the Podzilla 1985 network. Shelby likes it. That's all I care about. My name is Shannon Young. I'm going to be your host tonight. We got a full house tonight. Let me start off by introducing my good friend, I was going to say the man with the best beard in the house, but I don't know. I see a couple good beards here. I'm sure Steven has a beard or two, too. Jesse Kimball.
Hey, it's me. Yeah, we got most of the group. We very much fall into that meme of like the white guys with beards sitting around talking. Like, we should start a podcast. Yeah, that was us.
It's a question, if I recall. I'm going to find it.
I would like to request, if Steven is listening, please quit ruining my relationships. Also with us tonight, oh no, I'm not going to make this joke. Lindsay Wolfgong.
Hi, I'm here.
Hunter, I'm going to send you a text real quick. Also with us tonight, Shelby Kimball.
Hello.
I almost said the big D. Double H here with us.
I could be. Why not? He's not here anymore. He makes his group chat requests through me now.
Oh my god, that was... And the man himself, Tanner Calvert.
Yeah, that is me.
Hold on, I gotta send this to Hunter real quick. Give me 1 second.
So it turns out, I was surprised too. I also thought this comic was about them having beards, but instead it's three generic white dudes with averages, experiences, and opinions. Oh shit, did we just start a podcast?
I always think of the SNL skit with John Mulaney. Is it John Mulaney? It's like the fake podcasting
Fisher
setup.
Price.
Yes.
Yeah, my first podcast.
So he can't ruin any friendships.
He's watching too much Joe Rogan.
Oh my god.
Man, while you're doing that, Jesse...
I already sent it to you. It's in your inbox.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
You guys are watching The Bear, right?
Yeah. Well, no, I am watching The Bear, not...
How far into The Bear are you?
I'm caught. I'm finished. I've watched both seasons.
Okay. I'm not spoiling anything here in terms of plot points, but the fucking Christmas episode has like 8 million people in it that every time they came through the door, I was like, wait a minute, that's
yes.
that was Jamie Lee Curtis, and that's John Mulaney, and there's Sarah Paulson, and there's like 14 different people in it.
There's so many huge guest stars in that episode.
I saw a preview for the new season of, is it Only Murders in the Building? Only Murders in the Building?
Only Murders.
Murders. What's that, Shelby?
Only Murders.
Only Murders in this building?
Yeah, and the next season has Paul Rudd. Spoiler alert.
Yes.
Paul Rudd.
Well, no, so he shows up at the end of the last season.
Oh, does he
so
really?
We knew
Okay.
he was going to be there. Yes. Yep.
Paul Rudd's in it. Meryl Streep's in it. Spoiler alert for tonight's topic. This is really strange. Who else? I think Jamie Lee Curtis was in it. I think Uma Thurman was in it. I saw so many people that I recognized that I'm like, oh my god, this is a big one. This is a
good show too.
It's kind of been who's the special guest star for this week, but this one's like really big this season.
Yeah, Law and Order did the same thing, and the guest star was usually the killer, including one of my favorite ones, Robin Williams. Another spoiler here. Lindsay, before we get into the real quick thing, what is our top 5 for tonight?
Tonight we each picked an actor of our choice, and we are choosing our top 5 favorite films that they are in.
Yeah. And a couple spoilers there in the intros and the talking. Really quick, I want to mention, if you missed out, make sure you go back to last night's show. We had an all-new episodes of extras and epilogues with me and Hunter, and Lindsay joined us as we talked about 10 Things I Hate About You. Was a very good time, and it's become a very popular show, and you should listen to it because it's this about one subject, which is something we don't do very often.
Stay focused.
Yeah,
and then
crazy.
next week as an early preview, Tanner, we're going to require your services again.
Yes,
because we're going to be talking about the Blair Witch Project.
The Blair Witch Project, one of the most influential films on me personally. Really quick, guys, I want to mention this at the start of the show. I am of the belief at this point. I am of the belief, or at least I'm starting to believe, that I want to believe. That the world is just forming around my brain. Like, I have come to the conclusion that I believe that this existence is not real. It is just a product of my imagination in one way or the other. Here's why. If you've paid attention to the news lately, and stay tuned to next week, we got an all new episode of I Want to Believe.
Yes, next Tuesday.
if you check out the news this week, you will see that everything that I have said, everything that I have been passionate about is starting to become like mainstream. It's starting to overtake the news. And here's what I mean by that. Of course, there's the extraterrestrials, the testimony in front of Congress. I have been obsessed with aliens and the supernatural and all that stuff my entire life. I am this podcast's Fox Mulder. And it is starting to come to a point where that is now becoming like real news. It's not just crackpot news.
I just got to butt in real quick though with that testimony in front of Congress. He never used the word extraterrestrial, if I'm not mistaken.
Non-human biologicals.
Yeah. So
what the fuck would you take non-human biologicals? A dog piloting a fucking spaceship, Jesse?
Monkey. No,
a monkey piloting a spaceship.
These are experimental.
That's something we did.
That's
we
true.
did, but the Russians did.
Yeah.
Tanner,
the Russians put a dog in space.
Chimpanzees are not monkeys.
Well, Jesse, they also flat out said that the technology was not of this earth.
I didn't hear that phrase. I heard they were UFOs or
UAPs.
the new
UAPs. Yeah.
And more than likely, my understanding, that includes stuff that's just other countries or people running experiments.
Well, all right. So to break it down real quick, yes, UAP just stands for unidentified aerial phenomena, and that counts as everything. You're right on that. But in this particular case, Tanner, this guy went in front of Congress and said non-human, not of this earth. Yeah. So I mean, now the other thing is that we can't talk about this right now because we got to talk about it on Tuesday.
We can talk about a little bit of it. I'll tell you this much. I'll give you a little preview of what I'm thinking now, unless something drastically changes between now and next Tuesday. The simple fact that we're talking about this tells me it's not real. The simple fact that any of this shit is being brought up, it tells me that there's no way that it's right. There's no way that the American government is the one that is confirming this. It 100% feels fake.
So, as a preview of where we all stand on this, I believe Tanner is on the side of, I will not have him insulted or assaulted in this, but I believe Tanner is of the thought process that because this man went in front of Congress under oath, testified that it's got to be somewhat legit.
Of that wall falling.
Right, and I agree with Tanner. That does make sense. Hunter is of the belief that because the American government is the ones saying all this, that it's not, and I agree with that too. I'm in the middle. Yep. I'm in the middle of I want to believe,
which is usually the case,
right?
That's usually how it works.
Reality mixed with misdirection.
That's why the show is called I Want to Believe, because I agree with everybody, including Jesse, including everyone. Like this is but it's also unprecedented. This is unprecedented because, the most we ever had before this, where there was obviously Project Blue Book. There was a couple different studies that they did trying to figure out what these people saw. But never have we had so many high-ranking officials in the United States government, including, military advisors, leaders, pilots, everybody that has come out of the woodwork to say, this is real, this is what we found. Is it a little strange that the United States government is advertising it? Yes, but you know why I think they are? If it is real, is because even though they've gone out and said this publicly, no one gives a hot shit. And that bothers me. We've talked about this a million times, and I know Hunter says, and he's right, you could tell me this, but what am I supposed to do with it? If you go to CNN right now, I'm on CNN right now, none of this is top story. If you go down scroll down a little bit, there is one thing that says UFO whistleblower, non-human biologics discovered. That's it. And I feel like even if this dude comes out with straight up evidence that proves that extraterrestrials has visited the planet and that we have recovered them, people still will not care. That is just the society we live in now.
Sarah showed
so
me
the government can just do it. Government can just do it, and no one's going to give a shit.
It said it was a Michael Scott meme, and it just said when the government confirms aliens for the fourth time, but there's still rent, inflation, and depression, and it's just Michael going, doesn't matter. I am going to take a nap. Like, that's where people are. That's where people are right now.
I've also,
what are we supposed to do with this information?
I've also seen that picture of the UFO and the alien, and the guy's just like, "Hey," and the alien says, "Aren't you shocked?" And he says, "I got some things going on right now, man.
I got shit to do next week. I got dreams."
And it's absolutely true. Listen, America. So my inner Bernie Mac is coming out. The United States government is flat out telling you that this is real, and you still don't care.
That's the other sticking point that I have. Let's get real. The government is not.
No, the
Pentagon
listening.
immediately said there is no discernible evidence that any of this is factual or accurate in any way. We are disavowing this guy completely. So no, a former government agent is saying this is real.
But he's not some weirdo crackpot off the street. This is a guy who has a high level of military clearance. He's backed up by of course. Backed up by pilots who are also respected. I mean, and this is the kicker, and nothing's happened yet. This is one of those wait and see moments. But when he testified, he did say that he had the proof, but he couldn't reveal it in a public forum like that due to safety concerns, but he would reveal it to Congress in a behind closed door session, which they are trying to get scheduled for the next week or two. So,
and he also said a list of people they could talk to.
Yeah, he said he's passed off a lot of this information to the authorities that needed it. Now, again, am I saying it's real? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Even Tanner, I think, even though he is more of a believer than all of us, and he puts more faith in this, even he, I think, Tanner, you would say that this isn't proven. It's a grain of salt still, right? But you're excited about the possibility.
Yes, I think we're closer. I think we're closer now than any other time in history of the truth coming out.
Now,
also, I was sitting there looking it up because like the clip I saw, he definitely didn't say anything about not of this earth. I couldn't find anything in a Google search about him ever saying those words. Just non-human biologics in UAPs.
David, I don't have time to search for this, but I literally watched the entire thing. But I don't. Someone else talk real quick.
I couldn't find anything about it. So like, I just want to be clear that like he did not. In my opinion, I don't think he confirmed that like UFOs or aliens exist, and that he had seen proof of this. It very much seemed like this guy said like, yeah, we found, like he wanted to make it seem like that while still telling the truth, but like it could just as easily have been like a Korean unmanned ship that they were testing out with organics inside. The organics being literally any like non-human organic. It could be anything on the planet that's not us. It could have been a plant. Like, they could have put...
No, I'm sorry, go ahead. You're good.
No, they could have put a fucking cactus in there, and that still would have been a non-human organic that they were testing out with this flight.
We have talked about this a little bit on I Want to Believe before, and something that I kind of go back to every time is that any confirmation, not so much denial, but any confirmation of extraterrestrial life is always going to be a little bit of a catch-22, because if you come out and say it, people are going, and you don't have evidence that you can literally show, people are going to assume you're a crazy person.
Right.
But if you just allude to it, they're going to go, well, then give me the proof. And when you can't give the proof, then we're right back to where we started. So that, to me, again, is always where this is going to come back to. Every bit, it's to me, it's very analogous in that same way to the proof of the existence of ghosts or anything like that. No matter how many like recorded pieces of evidence we see, until someone directly experiences this stuff, they're not going to believe it. For the general public, the people at large, anyway. I think you're always going to have people who are more inclined to believe it. But
the biggest telling thing from this incident that's happened between and at the hearing is the fact that he had mentioned that three things technically. That one, they are non-human biologics that were recovered. That two, the ones they had been in contact with, there had been damage or had been injuries sustained by government officials from whatever this is. And three, that they believe what they've been doing is reconnaissance, especially on our nuclear capabilities on this planet. That's the big three.
But how? I mean, no explanation was given as to how they think that. It seems like it's pure speculation.
Speculation for now, because he said he's got most of the information they want, like the actual damning information.
Yeah, but man, to me, this and I don't want to turn it into a whole thing because we got a whole show to do about this next week. But to me, that is the epitome of a clickbait headline, right? You won't believe what these aliens are trying to do on this planet. But I mean, click here to find out more.
What do you want them to do? Dump the fucking alien body on the table when he walks out? Like,
I would have been happy with the guy saying we found extraterrestrials in the ship.
But this is the guy. This is a guy who has said that he has been threatened, that people he knows has been threatened, that there is a conspiracy to keep this hidden from everybody, including from Congress. If that is true, if it is true, what do you want him to do and come out and say that's not going to put his life in jeopardy? That's why he said, I have the evidence. I will reveal it in closed doors so it's not public because of safety concerns.
But what I want to know is, where is he? This line seems so arbitrarily drawn. So it's okay to say that he's speculating, that he thinks that they are looking into our nuclear capability, but then he can't give any proof to back that up? Why is it okay to make the claim and not the evidence? That's the problem for me. That does
people track. The evidence itself is more sensitive and can't be given in an open form.
Then don't provide the claim. You can't provide the claim and not give the evidence, because how am I supposed to believe you if you can't tell me this? You can only tell other people behind closed doors. Then why make the claim public in the first place?
Because he was going before Congress to try to get more transparency from the government on these issues. From what I understand, the reason they went in front of Congress wasn't to basically throw out, hey, here's what happened. It was to try to convince the government to reveal everything that they know about these things because of the things that have already happened. They're trying to get more information. They're trying to make it more public. But the things that are exceptionally, dangerous to be known, that's something they want to reveal behind closed doors because they don't want the American public, I don't know, to panic.
I don't understand.
But I'm going to always disagree with the idea that
these individuals
making a claim and not giving the evidence is in and of itself dangerous. It's debate 101. You can't. That's true. That's core 101. You can't just say, here's a thing, I can't tell you about it, but I'll tell these other people about it, and then you're expected to trust them.
But this is also a country that will take something small. This is a world that will take something and spin it or tear it apart or use it against other people. I would be afraid to say these things out in public.
You're making my point. That's what I'm saying. He should never have said that if he can't provide that evidence. To say they are looking into our nuclear evidence, this is the kind of thing that has people up all night, that has people literally, again, on social media that are saying, I can't fucking sleep. I think we're going to die.
But let's say,
why would you say this and not explain it?
Let's say he's telling the truth, just for argument's sake. Let's say he's telling the truth, and that there is a multi-billion-dollar conspiracy that keeps this from even Congress knowing. You go in front of Congress and testify in a public forum that this is what's going on. Here is all the evidence I have. How many people are you putting in danger by doing that? If Congress doesn't know about it, and you're trying to reveal this to them and reveal this to the people that need to know, doing it in public puts all kinds of people, puts a target on them. But if you do it behind closed doors to people that don't already know what's going on and you provide them the evidence, the American public can't do shit about it. That dude could go on fucking Joe Rogan tomorrow and reveal all the evidence he wants, but Joe Rogan can't do anything about it. If he goes to Congress and says, here's the evidence I have, and he presents it to them not for clout, not for publicity, but because he wants them to know what's going on and he wants to do something about it, to me that makes more sense than just publicly saying, here's everything I know, and now everybody knows.
All right, hold on. I need to know here. Who are these people in danger from? The general public or the government? Or the conspiracy? Whoever's trying to keep this hidden?
Again, if you believe what he says, the conspirators, the people that apparently are, this isn't Congress. This isn't the government that we know about. This is some sort of agency, some sort of something.
It could be something.
Okay, so
the CIA after him again, or something.
And again,
so you've got.
It sounds.
Hold on.
Okay.
All right. So you've got this situation where he's this whistleblower, right? He can't give out this sensitive information because it would put people in danger from this shadow organization, whether it be the CIA, Men in Black, whatever the fuck. Why is it safer for him to go in front of Congress and say, I know people that have this information, than it is for him to say, this is the information? Because, it seems like the shadow organization very much knows everybody that has this information, including the whistleblower.
But this could also be one of those things. Sorry, Tanner, I don't mean to cut you off. This could also be one of those things where if somebody went to Congress and said, I have this, I want to talk to you, there's a good chance they might have said, I'm not interested because I don't believe it. But if you do it in a public forum to create the interest, to create the buzz, to, basically play some of your cards, but keep some of them to your chest so you can get in and talk to the people you need to talk to, I feel like it could be something like that. And, it does, it sounds crazy, and it would be easy to say this is outlandish and I don't believe it. But if you look at American history, if you look at the world's history, how many times has there been a shadow organization? How many times have we killed our own people? How many times have we done stuff in, you know, the background?
The CIA
that
has
hurts
done
people.
some super shady ass shit. Like, you're absolutely correct.
And that's on a human level. We're talking about
Right.
extraterrestrial level now.
My question is, why is it safer for him to go to Congress and make the claim with no evidence than it is to make the claim with evidence?
Well, again, he says he has the evidence. It would be one thing if he were to go on there and say, to me, it would be one thing for him to go on there and say, I have this evidence, and them say, okay, where is it? Him go, well, I don't actually have it. I can't give it to you, but I know people that know. It's another thing for him to say, I have the evidence. I can't say it in public. Meet me behind closed doors and I will present you with everything. To me, that's different. He's not.
The way I took it was not that he was afraid of anything, which I mean, very well could be something to be afraid of. I don't know. I don't usually go that deep into conspiracy theories.
Yes, you do.
Sometimes. But from what I understand, it's more of the information he's given on the floor where the cameras were there, public was able to watch. I mean, George Knapp was sitting in the front row right behind him. That information was declassified enough where he could put forth that. The information that he needed to give behind closed doors is still classified to a point where the public can't know it, but he can give it to these congressional.
At the end of the day, he is government, and government knows that you can't.
Not anymore.
Well, I'm saying, but he was government. He knows how it works. He knows that you can't just come forward with stuff like this because I think, like Hunter said, if you come forward with stuff like this, even if he provided evidence to the public at large, there's a good chance that even if he presented evidence, no one would still believe him. Because
So I want to be really clear. The point that I was making earlier was not he should have said that and then immediately given the evidence to everybody, because I feel like it's getting taken that way. What I'm saying is anytime that I'm looking strictly at claim evidence, like relationship. Anytime that you make a claim, you need to be prepared to give that evidence to the people who heard the claim. So I'm not necessarily saying he should have. I'm saying he shouldn't have made the claim out loud in that way, because that's going to be what ultimately makes him seem discredited. That's the kind of thing that makes somebody like me look at it and go, well, you said that thing, but then you didn't prove it to me. You're going to prove it to a bunch of other people, and I'm supposed to take their word for it. If he hadn't said that, I'd be more inclined to go, wait a minute, he's saying that this is a thing.
No.
Where does it go from there? No,
so,
that's what I'm saying.
So him testifying in front of Congress, like, do you think, and we really can't talk about this forever because we got to do it on Tuesday, but do you think that if there were no cameras allowed in there, like if testifying in front of Congress wasn't a, video spectacle, that it would feel more genuine? Or do you think because the cameras were on them, and to be fair, it was not his call to have cameras. He wanted to testify. I don't think it's anybody's call.
I think it just happens.
It just happens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's how government is. It's mostly.
And again, I know I'm arguing the point, and Jesse, I know I'm arguing with you a lot on this, but I want to make it clear that, like, I don't necessarily believe the guy. I just want to put that out there. I don't necessarily believe the guy. I want to believe, and I am curious to see what the evidence shows, if there is any, in the next couple of weeks. We will definitely revisit this on Tuesday, because we spent 20 minutes talking about it. That's half the show on Tuesday, so we got to cut this off. And my original point, I didn't even get my other point out. My other point about how everything is just me is because I saw a video today of Bryan Cranston at one of these SAG protests.
Strikes?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how we will not allow Hollywood to give our jobs to robots. They were talking about AI shit, and I'm like, oh my god, this is just everything I've said on I Want to Believe. Extraterrestrials. Now we're talking about the AI robot invasion. He literally said robots, and I'm like, oh my god, this is just me. Everything's fake. It's my brain.
I'd say I'm really depressed at the idea that the future we've all been striving for makes us do all the menial robot jobs, and now the robots get to do all the creative shit. What kind of fucking bullshit is this? You got it backwards.
That's not what I signed up for.
Flip it, reverse it.
Yeah.
I just want to throw something out real quick. I'm betting you any amount of money that the former Navy guy, nothing is going to come from this, and he's going to have a book. He's going to release a book about, like, his bullshit.
Well, I mean, the Navy guy, it's not bullshit. The Navy guy, the pilot, if I'm talking about, like, he didn't say we have aliens here, as far as I know. All he said was
David Grush.
That's not the
dude's
That's
name.
not the guy I'm talking about. I'm talking about a different guy. Grush is the one that said
David,
he had the evidence. Yeah. But I'm talking
David
about
Grush is the guy that was.
I'm talking about the other guy,
was,
the pilot. That's what I'm talking about.
Because David Grush was the one that actually said the non-human biologics, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Although the other two people that were there also said
he never said extraterrestrial, and he so technically what he said was true in front of Congress, and it's going to go nowhere, and he's going to release a book about it and make a bunch of money off of conspiracy nuts.
I'm afraid that even if he presents if everything he said is true, and he presents the evidence in front of Congress, that's never going to come out. That's what
I think everything that he said is true because he was under oath. I just
you
think
can
it
lie
was
under
misleading.
oath, man. Look at OJ.
Well, yeah, but that's different. What I'm saying is, like, what he said was misleading. Non-human biologics. Like I said, that could have been a fucking cactus.
Yeah, but you had the other.
Did they put OJ on the stand? I don't remember.
I have no idea.
I don't think they put OJ on the stand.
I feel like
he would have had to go.
There are alien.
He would have had to go on record.
He would have had to have done a
guilty,
deposition. Right? Yeah, he would have to do a deposition, and okay, yeah. He would have to enter.
Under oath, he would have had to say not guilty.
Yeah, and that was a lie. Look, people lie. People lie on the stand all the time. It happens. This guy could be full of shit. He could be absolutely full of shit.
Simpson did not take the stand.
But here's
that was going to drive me crazy.
Here's what I know, though, based on all this. Here's what I know is that, like Tanner said, we are further into, treating this as a serious thing than we have ever been before. It has become real. It has become serious. It's no longer you're getting laughed out of the place because you said you saw a UFO. It is getting to a point whether they are extraterrestrial in origin or they are, man-made by another country who has technology that we don't. And they did have some kind of non-human biological in there. Whether it was, a monkey, because that is possible because we sent monkeys to space. Whether or not
a dog.
Yeah, whether it's any of that stuff. The point is that we're finally taking it seriously. And that's what I'm happy about, is because for too long, people have been seeing these things. Pilots, military people, regular everyday citizens have been seeing these things and talking about it and been afraid to talk about it because they're getting laughed out of the place. Now it is coming out that these things are real. Whatever they are, they're absolutely real, and they are in our country, and they're on our planet, and we need to know what it is.
Also, I do want to be clear real quick. Unlike ghosts, I absolutely believe aliens exist. Like, there's life on other planets.
Well, ghosts are real, too.
Of the universe. All right, we're not going to get into that. But I 100% believe that life exists on other planets. Like, they don't necessarily have to be more advanced than we are, though it is distinctly possible. And, they could be, dodging their own global warming, and we were the closest solar system. They actually had the technology to get here, that kind of stuff. Like, there's all sorts of stuff that could be happening, but, like, I don't think that we necessarily have, the Greys abducting and probing people and, dropping them back.
Well, here's the scary part for me, and then we'll move on, because we do have to move on. But you can tune in to Tuesday when we talk about this. Maybe we'll invite Jesse on there to talk about it. Oh, Jesse's never been on, I Want to Believe.
That's true. I've never been very skeptical about a lot of things.
The thing that scares me most, Tanner, and this is where I'll leave this, is one of the questions they asked him was, and I'm paraphrasing, but it was basically, are our weapons good enough to defend us against whatever this is that we've recovered? And his answer was flat out, no, it's not. So, oh, Hunter, you're muted. What was that?
No, I'm not. I'm mouthing to myself. How do you know that?
All right.
Well, I mean, you talking about me or him?
Him.
Oh, okay. But I don't have the proof.
No, him. Again,
no.
I'm
just a podcaster. I speculate
without evidence. But
what if? All right. So I know we're playing.
I'm going to say I have taught debate. Let's put it that way. And this is like number one with a bullet. The way you don't do this shit.
But this isn't a normal debate. This is
called an unfounded assertion. It has a name
with potentially the evidence to back it up, but we don't know about it yet. Again, this is not. We have no evidence. This is
clickbait, man.
We have evidence, and we can't.
Yes.
No, click. I disagree with that. Clickbait to me.
That is clickbait. That's literally what clickbait is. It is. I'm going to give you a nugget of a kernel of information. Now you got to go further to get it on your own.
But
I am not going to provide this to you. You have to take further.
But he's not telling them they have to go get the evidence. He's saying, I have the evidence and we'll give it to you behind closed doors. Who,
right.
Like us, the podcast?
No,
we ain't got shit.
He's making a public assertion and then not providing us the means to back it up.
He provided a assertion to Congress, which happened to be filmed and sent to America. He didn't go on live television.
It's not like he didn't know that was happening.
Well, that's true.
It's not like he didn't know that was happening. That's
true.
The part that bothers me.
That's true, too.
I say again, you are responsible for the claims that you make and the people that hear them. That's the problem I have with it.
I question my own self because I don't know why I want so badly for this to be true, that there are extraterrestrials with weapons that will destroy us.
If people have not listened to I Want to Believe, I need to be very clear about something. In the same vein as what Jesse was saying, I want these things to be true in the general sense that I want ghosts to be real.
Yes.
I want aliens to be real because that makes the world a more fucking interesting place.
Yeah, but I don't want them to have better weapons than me.
The right way.
I just don't want them to have better weapons than us. That's the part I don't want to be true.
You don't want Mars attacks.
Right. I told Lindsay earlier, I was like, what if it's not bullshit and it's all real and the aliens go, fuck, well, they figured it out. Better go invade them.
Might as well do it now before they start preparing.
I've seen Independence Day. I know what happens.
Things would end poorly for us.
A sci-fi anime with aliens. So.
We don't
we are far too poor of an area, and us in general, we are far too poor to survive an alien invasion.
We don't have Robert Loggia anymore. We can't do this. All right.
You'd think the whole movie is his name.
Well. All right. Well, the motherfucker of the week is
all of us to each other.
No, I am perfectly fine with it because again, I don't know this guy. I've never met him. I've never seen the evidence. I argue the point because again, I want it to be true and I want to give the guy a fair shot. If he says he's got the evidence, bring it and let's see it. But at the same time, I ain't losing friends over it. I ain't going to get in like a heated argument or anything. This is a debate.
Yeah, all I'm really saying at the end is not even that I don't necessarily believe him. I'm having trouble believing him because of the way he's presenting shit. That's really all it is. I'm not saying it's not accurate. That's it. That's my main argument right now. This is also, for the record, why I really wanted to do a full I Want to Believe next week. We were talking about, we'll do it earlier because all this is coming out. I would rather have what we have right now, just a little bit of information. Right. We can put all our opinions about it, right here on this show. Right. And then when we have a full show next week, we've got several days worth of breakdowns and debates and further news and that kind of thing.
And we're cutting it off there, not because I don't want to talk about it more, but because it's 30 minutes of content we're giving away that we need to save for next Tuesday. Shelby is not here for it.
It's just going to be a replay.
We're going to cut this first part and just put it there and then continue it like it was all fresh. In fact, I'm cutting the episode here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is all new Podzilla After Dark on the Podzilla.
Nothing about this is new.
All right, with that said, let's go to the top 5 because, Aaron Powell's going to be disappointed on us.
He'll love this out. I promise you, he will love that part.
Well, I think it was good. I know it's an argument, somewhat, but too often on this show, we all agree on everything. We all think Jason Aldean's a piece of shit. We all think Trump's a motherfucker. It's nice to have different opinions, and we get a little heated. We all have a little Mac in us.
At the end of the day, to still be respectful of, I understand where you're coming from. I get it, right. And I think at the very least, you and I are on the same page. Of I don't disagree. Or I don't disbelieve this guy. It's just about the way the information is being presented. It's one sticking point I can't get over. Yeah. That's bothering me. That's it. That's all.
And I want there to be more. I need more content. But save it for next week. Let's go on with the show. Tanner, you good? We good? All right, Tanner's giving me the thumbs up. Let's go. Top 5 actors.
Audio podcast.
Top 5 actors in sci-fi UFO movies. What?
Nope.
No.
Pick an actor. Top 5 movies from that
Daniel
actor.
Kaluuya. Will Smith.
Bill Pullman.
Yeah. Bill Paxton. Wait, is it Paxton or Pullman?
Pullman.
It could be both.
Richard Dreyfuss. Richard Dreyfuss?
My headphones just went out. Hang on a second.
Oh, okay. I thought you were struggling to think of which movie Richard Dreyfuss was in that was UFO related. Jesse, tell him.
I'm sorry.
Tanner, tell him.
I'm sorry. No, I'm skipping that because I'm going to the best one of them all, Jeff Goldblum. Mic drop.
He fought dinosaurs and aliens, and I think that was a movie
That's true.
starring Daniel Craig and Harrison Ford called Dinosaurs and Aliens.
I just missed like a solid minute and a half because I'm pretty sure that my headphones just connected to the iPad upstairs because I just heard like previously on. I was like, well, what the fuck is going on? And you guys started coming through my laptop.
All right.
Who's fighting dinosaurs and aliens? Will
Jeff
Smith?
Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum.
He did that too.
Yeah, he
They
fought all
both
of them.
did it.
He fought all of them.
Yeah.
All right. Really quick, let's all say who we picked as an actor, and then we'll go from there. Jesse, we'll start with you, and we'll just kind of go around to get our actors first.
And my actor, I picked Jason Segel.
Shelby.
I picked Daniel Craig.
Tanner.
Robin Williams.
Huntu.
Paul Rudd.
I picked the great Dick Miller. That's right. I love Dick. Steven.
Miller.
Yeah, you do.
And Lindsay.
And I picked the only lady in the group, Meryl Streep.
Smell like street for cheap. All right. Let's go to Jesse. Jesse, what's your first movie by the great Jason Segel?
I did nearly pick a woman. I was really torn between Jason Segel and Emma Stone.
I also had a trouble.
All right, I am going to start with Knocked Up. Not a movie that he starred in, but just a very good film.
Knocked Up. Is that the Seth Rogen?
That was the one with Seth Rogen, yeah.
Katherine Heigl.
Yeah, we actually have a clip from that movie real quick. Hold on.
How do you like us now?
That was Seth
Paul
Rogen.
Rudd is also in that film.
Seth Rogen. in that
Yes, he
movie.
is. Yep.
Yeah, that was something that Hunter and I had to talk about before the show, because if he had picked enough, because Paul Rudd and Jason Segel have been in many, many movies together.
Yeah.
I intentionally, out of my top 5, there were some honorable mentions, and Knocked Up was on that list, but out of my top 5, I intentionally left off anything Jason Segel was in, so that we wouldn't run into this issue.
Which is some of really good Paul Rudd movies.
That's
Jesse-
true, but I managed with no problems.
Jesse, I'm going to be honest
Paul
with
Rudd's
you.
in a bunch of shit.
If you don't have a
What?
specific Jason Segel film on your list, I'm going to be very sad.
Oh no, I definitely do. I know the one you're thinking
Okay,
of.
thank you. Thank
It's
you.
coming. It's coming.
All right. Well, speaking of
Kimball's.
There you go.
Hold up, what?
I didn't like where you were going with that at all.
I don't know where I was going with that
And
either.
neither did Shelby
No.
Fired.
or Jesse.
No.
Or Lindsay.
Shannon's fired.
Shelby.
I'm upset. I quit.
Oh, she actually quit? Oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
Done right now. I'm gonna just kind of. My first choice is gonna kind of be a
princess.
shitty choice. It's gonna be all the movies in which he's James Bond. Because he's fucking James Bond, dude. Like,
That's true. He is the second best James Bond. 100%.
Like it's fine to blanket statement those all together.
If
His
if
number
you
one
had
is
to
Pierce
pick one,
Brosnan.
though.
It's no one else.
What's your favorite Craig Bond movie? Because to be fair, they've all been good. Some
I really like
more so
Casino
than others.
Royale.
Yeah, I agree with that. Casino Royale.
Casino Royale is incredible.
Casino Royale. Yeah.
To me, Casino Royale is the best Craig Bond in the same way that, like, you know, GoldenEye was the best Brosnan one. It was all kind of downhill from there to various degrees, but their first outing as Bond was fantastic. Both of them. Yeah.
Yep. Craig's is kind of up and down because he does that, and then Quantum of Solace is not as good. Then he does Skyfall, which is pretty
Yeah,
good,
which
and then
is-
he does Spectre, which is okay.
I've
And
still
then it ends kind of right in the middle.
I've still not seen No Time to
Skyfall
Die.
and Spectre still on the same like level for me.
Have you seen No Time to Die? I have still not seen it.
I have not seen it yet either.
Me neither.
It's good, but to me, his thing was like a roller coaster. Like Casino Royale's great, and then it's up, down, and then No Time to Die is where it's just leveling out. Like the track is just coming to an end. It's right down the middle. It's a perfectly cromulent movie.
I forget who they said was in talks to be the next Bond. I think Nicholas Hoult was in the talks for the next
He
Bond.
was in the running.
Yeah.
The guy that played Fennec off of Hunger Games. He's in talks too.
And Aaron Taylor Johnson apparently is who they're tapping to be the next Bond.
Aaron Taylor Johnson?
Yep.
I like that guy a lot.
I do too.
Yeah.
And I never really thought about him as Bond, but looking at him, like, he's incredibly handsome. He's British. He's in great shape.
That's where I know I'm from.
It all makes you wonder why Henry Cavill never got a shot.
I just started watching
Same
The
things.
Great.
Yeah. You just what?
I just started watching The Great. That's where I know Nicholas Hoult like immediately from. I was like, why the fuck is his face so like fresh in my face? Yeah.
Why is his face?
X-Men movie.
Why is his face so fresh in my face?
Yeah, no, like he's got.
Go
Did you ever watch
fresh in my face?
Yeah.
Shannon, did you ever watch Bullet Train?
I haven't yet. I want to.
I need to finish it.
It's very good. Another one with Aaron Taylor Johnson, and dude is jacked.
He's super fucking jacked.
Did you
he was jacked for the Quicksilver role.
Do you not see that rip he's gotten for Craven?
Oh yeah, I forgot he's in Craven too. Yeah, he's jacked in Craven.
I forgot that too. I want to forget that movie exists.
He was also in Godzilla.
It doesn't yet, Jesse. Please.
He was also in Godzilla.
Yes,
yeah.
Someone, please,
Hunter,
thank you.
Tanner, what did you just say to me?
Craven the Hunter.
What about it?
Tanner, don't.
Craven.
Okay, Tanner, he's trying to sucker you. Don't do it. I know where he's going with it. Let's just go. Let's just go to Tanner. Tanner, what's your first movie?
First off, the movie's not out yet.
Yeah, but you said it didn't
It's gonna be
exist,
bad.
and that's simply not true. It does.
Well, you know what I mean. Shut up, Shannon. So this is probably the only. This is probably the only whimsical Robin Williams film I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Hook because it's one of my favorites.
I love it.
That's a fantastic film.
Now, wait a minute. How are you going to talk before this starts about how Robin Williams is a great voice actor and then not have Aladdin on your list?
Because I'm trying to go to his.
Wait, do you not have Aladdin on your list at all?
I want to, yes, because it would be number one. But I'm trying to go with his more serious stuff that I really like.
Okay, all right. We'll see how it plays out. Right. And to be fair, Will Smith was a better genie. But yeah, Hook, what? He wished his wife's hair would go away, and it did. So,
Shannon,
I'm just saying he had Aladdin rubber head instead, and all the hair fell out. Look,
Shannon. Will Smith is going to show up and slap the shit out of you.
What's great about Hook is it's the last.
G.I. Jane 2. Can't wait to see it.
God damn it.
Hunter!
You're just doing the Will Smith bits at this point. The Chris Rock bit.
I like Hook because it was the last good Peter Pan movie. Correct me. I dare you.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other ones have not been that great. Although I liked... It wasn't a movie, but I liked the spin that Once Upon a Time took with Peter Pan.
I agree.
I'll correct you. I'll correct you. It was the only good Peter Pan movie. Fight me.
Yeah, Shannon.
He's right.
Dummy. Yeah.
What about Finding Neverland? Does that not count?
No.
No.
Damn, you right,
Nor
man.
does the actual animated Disney one, because it's bad too.
Yeah,
it's not bad. It's just very, very dated and has not aged well.
As soon as you said that was the only good Peter Pan movie, the rage inside me was like, "Oh bullshit!" And then I went, "Wait."
It's the same move we all do. Oh no, fuck you! It's just the back. You're gonna flip. We should have nailed your microphone down before we started.
He's absolutely right, though.
Yeah.
He's absolutely right. That was yeah. Oh, that's sad.
Put
all right,
my thumb through your eye, you little bitch.
Hunter.
I did mine chronologically. That's the only reason for the order here. So I'm going with 1995's Clueless.
Yeah.
To begin, it was Paul Rudd's first movie. It's a great movie anyway. It's his first movie, according to Wikipedia. It's his first movie.
I would believe that. The only
Curse of Michael Myers.
The first that was after Clueless. I'm pretty sure
Michael Myers one. Yeah, he was in Halloween after that.
Yeah,
96.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, Wikipedia says Clueless was his first movie role. I didn't look any closer than that. But the main reason I mentioned it, number one, is it's a great movie in and of itself.
Fantastic movie.
But number two, he looks exactly the same age as he does now.
Yes.
So
the first
ageless wonder.
Do you remember seeing Paul Rudd before he was in movies? Do you remember seeing him in the old video game commercials? I think it was Super Nintendo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Conan O'Brien would show those occasionally to mess with him before he would show that clip from Mac and Me.
God damn it.
Every time
classic. All time.
I'm about to go watch all those now. Just a compilation of the Mac and Me bits.
Yeah. The only one that's not funny is the first one because no one knew it was coming and it wasn't a bit
yet. No one knew what was going on.
Yeah. They were very confused. My favorite one is the Ant-Man one because he actually puts Ant-Man in it. That's fucking hilarious.
Because he kept saying he wasn't going to do it. We talked about 10 Things I Hate About You last night being an adaptation of Shakespeare, Clueless, an adaptation of Emma, but in and of itself is just a great movie.
And he's great in it. Unfortunately, you can't crush the crush button with that because there's too goddamn many. Alicia Silverstone, Stacey Dash, Brittany Murphy, the other girl, all of them.
Well, you could probably let Stacey Dash go now, though, right?
No, because I saw her on Eric Andre, and that kind of redeemed her for me a little bit. Because Eric Andre fucked with her so bad, it was funny. But yeah, for the most part, fuck her. Still love Alicia Silverstone though. All right, so I picked Dick Miller, and if you don't know who Dick Miller is, because I'm sure everyone on this show, like that, everyone else everybody's talking about, everyone knows immediately. You probably don't remember Dick Miller. Dick Miller was mostly a background actor, and not a background actor, but like a co-star in a lot of these films. Yeah, he was amazing. He was in almost every 80s movie. He was a big
Corman guy, right?
He was a big Corman guy. Yeah. He was in the original Little Shop of Horrors, actually. A young Dick Miller. Yeah. So since Tanner didn't pick an animated film to show off the great Robin Williams, I'll pick an animated film to start with for Dick Miller. And that was quite possibly, Jesse, you might agree with me on this, the greatest Batman film, Batman: Mask of the Phantasm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
Who did you voice?
I believe he was Chucky Saul, if I remember correctly.
Ooh, which reminds me, I've seen somewhere, I've seen on Reddit, they're talking about remastering that, coming out on Blu-ray.
Good, because that is a good... What's crazy is, as bad as the DC live-action films are, their animated films are almost always great.
Their animated ones are amazing.
Yeah.
Well, there's certainly been a slump lately. The last several
have been
okay.
Have you seen The Doom That Came to Gotham?
No, not yet.
It's good. It's not great, but it's good. It's good. It's very Lovecraftian. I think you might like it. But yeah, Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. He wasn't the star in it, obviously, but technically, Lindsay didn't say they had to star in it. They just have to be in it.
Yeah, I mean that was my first one. Jason Segel played a pretty minor role in Knocked Up. He was one of Seth Rogen's roommates. Yeah.
Batman: Mask of the Phantasm blew my mind when it came out. It was just so good. I love the animated series, and this was the animated series, but slightly more adult. And it was just great. I also had Dana Delaney, of course, Kevin Conroy. I kept wanting to say Kevin Conway, and like every time I try to correct myself, it kept going back to Kevin Conway, and I'm like, no. I had to stop myself to say it correctly. Great movie.
Saying Conway reminded me that sometimes I get stuck on Kanye Twitty just because of fucking Jordan.
You should have heard me last night trying to say Larissa fuck! Hunter.
Olenek.
Thank you.
Olenek.
Christ.
Larissa Olenek.
Olenek.
The emphasis is on the same syllable in both her first and last name. Larissa Olenek.
I keep wanting to say Larissa Olniak. You know what I mean? Like you're
putting the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Well, it's just an alternate lifestyle. Let's go to Lindsay.
So, again, reminder-wise, I have Meryl Streep. And I'm starting off with The Devil Wears Prada because Miranda Presley is an amazing character.
That is a good movie.
And she's just flat out one of the greatest actors of all time. I mean, Meryl Streep is just amazing. Yeah. That's basically
an icon.
Absolutely.
Yes. I love The Devil Wears Prada, though. I can rewatch that movie like every day if I really wanted to.
Is that movie based on something?
There might have been a book.
Yeah.
Shit, why didn't I pick Kurt Russell? Or Val Kilmer? I put Tombstone on there. Was Dick Miller in Tombstone?
Possibly.
So.
Like, the odds are really high.
The odds that Dick Miller was in any film is high. But yeah, that also had Anne Hathaway, right?
Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, Stanley Tucci. Like, it's got a good cast.
I also love Stanley Tucci. Jesse, you need to see the SNL skit Tucci Gang.
I do. That sounds delightful.
Tucci Gang. All right, let's go back to the top of the order. Jesse.
All right. This is actually the spiritual sequel to Knocked Up. This is 40.
Yep. I will always remember
Paul Rudd takes the
cover.
Oh, go ahead.
The cover. I will always remember because it's him like sitting on the toilet with I don't know her name, but she's brushing her teeth.
I don't know this movie.
It's Judd Apatow's wife, whose name escapes me right now.
I'm gonna look it up. I gotta know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't remember her name either.
Yeah, because the running joke for a long time was that Judd Apatow just really liked seeing Paul Rudd married to his own wife.
Leslie Mann. Leslie Mann.
Leslie Mann. That's it. Yep, that's who it is.
So yeah, this is like they were kind of minor characters in Knocked Up, or they were secondary characters rather, and this is focusing on them, like Paul Rudd and Leslie Mann. And like Jason Segel is, reprising his character, though now he is I don't remember if he owns his own gym or if he's a fitness trainer. But either way, like his bit in that is pretty hilarious. It's actually a very, very good movie about just them getting old at this point. I like it quite a bit. Like, it's very, very different in every way from Knocked Up, but it's a very enjoyable movie.
Jesse, did you say it's him getting old or it's them getting older?
Them getting older. Leslie Mann does not want to admit to being 40.
Oh, no, no one does.
Right?
No one does. I certainly would never admit to it. All right, let's go to Shelby.
The next movie is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. This actually came out in 2011.
I remember that
He's a journalist in this movie, and he's hunting down a woman who's been missing for over 40 years. I don't know. Any movie where he gets to be a badass and, like, hunt people down, like, that, it kind of carries over to this, like, that whole spy mentality. Like, I like it.
Did they ever, they finished that series, right? In America?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it was with the same cast, but I think they finished those out. Those books went on quite a while too. I don't think there was just 3. Like, I think they kept making those.
That was I've never seen the American version. I saw the foreign version of the first film, but that's it. I've never seen the other ones, but I've always heard they were really, really good.
I've never seen any of them, honestly. But yeah, same thing. I've heard they're fantastic.
All right, let's go back to Tanner.
Okay, let's see. I truly believe this is probably one of my favorite performances from him live action. Birdcage.
I love Birdcage.
Yes, that movie is literally it is my favorite movie from him live action.
I'm sorry. You have Robin Williams and Nathan Lane together in a film. It's just fabulous.
And Hank Azaria.
I've never seen that movie.
Yes, Hank Azaria. I keep forgetting he's in that too.
It's very good.
Cannot forget Hank Azaria. Also based on a
trying to learn how to walk with shoes on.
Jesse, to spell it out for you, and Tanner, correct me if I'm wrong on this. I'm going to try to remember the plot just on the top of my head. It was about maybe it was his son, and he was bringing like their family to meet his dad, and his dad's gay, and they have to pretend to not be gay.
He's getting married to a very Republican family.
Yeah,
and because her
politician.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a very funny film.
It's really good.
It's you know what, I would say it's an all-time classic. Honestly,
they had to make Nathan Lane dress as a woman to pretend to be the woman in the relationship.
Yes, he pretended to be Robin Williams' wife, and it was very very funny. Yeah.
Watching Robin Williams pretend to be gay but try to act butch.
My god, it is very very funny. Let's go to Hunter.
Okay.
No, go ahead, Tanner. Go ahead.
Gave us a great moment where they were doing press tour about the movie. They went on Oprah, and Nathan Lane wasn't out at the time. And Oprah just was trying to just shove him out of the closet completely, and he was so uncomfortable. Robin Williams jumped straight in there and started talking for him and got him out of the pickle. But those two were very close. You could tell from after the making of that movie.
And that also brings us to the motherfucker of the week, Oprah Winfrey. All right, Hunter.
All right. Let's go with 2005's The 40-Year-Old Virgin. Steve Carell's big moment coming out at the box office. But, man, you talk about, again, a great supporting cast. Not just Paul Rudd, but, oh my God, the name just ran. Thank you. Seth Rogen is the main one I was trying to think of. The name just completely escaped me. That was kind of the beginning of that. Sure. That Judd Apatow just dominance at the box office for a while. Anchorman, I guess, came before that, if I remember correctly. But this was the kind of big blowout, the one that started making actual new stars out of people. Could have had Anchorman here, by the way. It's in my honorable mentions, but I decided to go with. I think I like Paul Rudd's part in 40-Year-Old Virgin better than in Anchorman. He almost gets relegated to kind of being the straight man for a lot of jokes. Other than the cologne, 60% of the time it works every time. 40-year-old version, he actually gets to kind of do some bits. He's the one who asks. He likes Steve Carell sweaters that come in a V-neck when they're doing the waxing. I had to look up the fucking monologue because I love it, because they all work at that electronics store, and he comes in just full of fire. And he's like, "Look," to his manager, "I got to tell you something, and I'm really excited about it. For the first time today, I woke up and came to the store, and I feel confident to say to you that if you don't take this Michael McDonald DVD you've been playing for 2 years straight off, I'm going to kill everyone in the store and put a bullet in my brain." It's just very indicative of that straightforward Paul Rudd level of comedy, because he never wavers through that entire thing.
Isn't he also the one that does the how I know you're gay bit?
Yes, it's him and Seth Rogen. Yeah, they do that back and forth.
That's fair. Very funny.
Which was something that people will go, "You can't get away with that now." I guess you absolutely could. Yeah. In fact, it would almost be funnier.
Right.
Yes. Right. With them talking about how it gets
that's the thing, man.
He thinks he's celibate, and he's like, "No, you're not. You're gay. Like, you're talking about you like dudes." And then they go back and forth.
Yeah. So it turns out you can make controversial jokes as long as they're funny.
They just have to be funny.
Yeah. Just making fun of gay people by itself is not funny. No. That's not humor. Anyway. No. Hey, speaking of funny, my next pick for Dick Miller is I almost put part 1 on here, but it's the Ghostbusters thing, Hunter. Part 1's a better film, but I enjoy part 2 better. And that's Gremlins 2. Dick Miller. Yeah. Now, Dick Miller was a big supporting character in the Gremlins movies. He wasn't just like in one scene. He was Futterman. He was the next door neighbor, and him and his wife come to visit. Oh God, what was his name? Zach something, if I remember correctly, and Phoebe Cates in the big city. And he's the only one, like, he's gone through so much therapy because these gremlins attacked in his little hometown, and he's convinced himself that they weren't real, that he just imagined it all. So when the gremlins attack Clamp Tower, which is just Trump Tower, and he realizes he was never crazy, it's a lot of fun. It's such a good movie. Everyone here has seen Gremlins 2, right? It's cinema royalty. It's so good. Jesse, please.
Yes, it's a great movie.
You didn't
You're
nod
all
hard
gonna
enough.
Design a gremlin, and it's gonna be in the movie.
Yeah, I think more people know Gremlins 2 from that fucking Key and Peele skit than they know the actual movie. But Gremlins 2 is amazing. John Glover plays a fake-ass Donald Trump, and it's a lot of fun. That movie is perfect. Phoebe Cates is perfect. Crush the crush button. She's married to Kevin Kline. I hate him. Let's go to Lindsay.
Next, I am going with Julie and Julia, where she plays Julia Child, and it's kind of if you haven't seen the film, it's kind of a duality where it partly follows Julia's Child's career, and at the same time, the character that Amy Adams plays, who's named Julie, is going through Julia Child's cookbook and going through all the recipes for a blog, and they kind of mesh the two together.
Just a good actress is what she is.
Yes.
Yes.
I've never seen that film. Not really my cup of tea, but I've heard it's really good.
I really enjoyed it. I've watched it a few times.
Yeah, Sarah and I have seen it several times. I think we saw it in the theater, if I remember correctly, and she liked it. I liked it just fine too. It's
oddly enough, Stanley Tucci is also in this film.
He is indeed, because he plays her husband, if I remember correctly, Julia Child's husband. Yep. Yeah,
you can't escape Stanley Tucci, baby. It's Tucci gang
fine.
all day.
Tucci gang.
Let's go back to Jesse.
Hey, we're going to bring up Amy Adams again here. This is the movie that Shannon wanted me to mention, starring Jason Segel.
Oh, it better be.
It's so good. It's so good. And what's crazy is it was basically a passion project from Jason Segel because he loved the Muppets so much. Yeah.
Huge Muppets fan. He wrote a lot of the music for that film. It's a fantastic film. It is absolutely a love letter to everyone that enjoys Muppets. Music's great, story's great. It's all good. Chris Cooper as a bad guy is phenomenal.
His fucking song.
That is the only downside of that film is them cutting his song short. You lose his motivation for why he is the villain.
Oh yeah, because wasn't it a party or something? A kids party?
He didn't know how to laugh, and so he kind of got humiliated by the Muppets as a child.
Chris Cooper is so great, and Uncle Deadly. It's just a good movie, man.
Love Uncle Deadly.
It's a great movie.
I'll tell you.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'll tell you another guy that loves the Muppets, and just as a quick side note, when Hornswoggle from WWE came down and worked with CCW at a show, I've met a lot of wrestlers through CCW. I've talked to a lot of big names, Jeff Hardy, Dolph Ziggler, Karrion Kross, all these guys. But the one I enjoyed the most was Hornswoggle, because me and him sat back there with a couple of the other guys, and I talked to him about Muppets for like 30 minutes. He said the greatest thing that's ever happened to him is when the Muppets hosted Monday Night Raw. And he said he walked backstage and he went to this room, and here are all the Muppets just laid out on a table like a graveyard. And it fucked with him because he wasn't used to seeing them like that. That's a good movie. I can't tell you a thing about the second one, though. Even though he was in it. Hornswoggle was in the second one. So, still don't remember anything about it.
Jason Segel had nothing to do with the second one.
No. Still good.
It was not as good.
It's still Muppets, so I can't hate it. But yes, I agree.
It was still a fun film, just was not near as good as the Muppets.
All right, Shelboo.
Exactly.
My next movie is The Golden Compass.
I've not seen it.
That is an old take. I have not thought about that film in a long time.
In a while.
I thought he was in it.
Yep, he's Lord Asriel. He's actually featured more heavily, it feels like, in the trailers. I remember the trailers always showing him and him getting off all of his one-liners in it. And that's basically all it was. And then when you actually get to the movie with him in it, it's the same fucking scene.
So they spoiled all the good ones in the trailers, is what you're telling us?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. You can watch the trailer, it's fine. But it is also a really good movie if you just like movies like this. It's a lot of fantasy.
This has nothing to do with anything, but it just kind of reminded me. I saw, speaking of movies and the trailers giving it away, all that, I always think of like the Mario Brothers and how the trailer gave away like the best scenes. I saw a thing today, Hunter. It was on one of those joke sites. It was talking about Super Mario Brothers Movie Maker. And it said they're creating this, so since you all know so much better than everybody, you can make your own Mario movie, right?
I like that. That's pretty good. That's good shit.
Let's go to Tanner.
I'm going to stick with the a little bit more serious. While that was kind of funny, but it had its serious, background. I want to go with one of his later movies. It's called World's Greatest Dad.
I never got to watch that one.
Is that the one? Is that the one where the son commits suicide?
Yes.
Okay. Well, he accidentally dies.
Yeah.
Via what? Sexual? Same thing that happened to Carradine.
Autoerotic asphyxiation.
Yeah. He choked himself to death having sex.
No, masturbating.
It's still sex. It counts. That's why I still have a sex life.
Anyway, yeah, he...
Wait, hold on, Tanner. 1 second. Let me do that again. That's why I still have a sex life.
No, wait.
Let me do it again?
One more time.
All right. That's why I still have a sex...
See, I was going to say the crickets. The crickets are the one that...
Tanner, that's why I still have a sex life. Okay.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Yeah, so the premise of it is he finds his son dead, who, while he was masturbating, he had a tie tied around his neck, trying to autoerotic asphyxiation. Got too tight and killed him. But he cuts his son down, ties him to the clothesline in the closet to make it look like he actually committed suicide, wrote a suicide note out, and started getting all this attention as the father of a suicide victim. And it's really good.
It is really good. It's a very strange. But wasn't that one of his last movies too?
Yeah, it's one of his definitely later ones.
Yeah. It was a strange movie for Robin Williams, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's not his only movie about suicide, and I have to assume that Tanner's not including the other one since he picked this one.
No.
The other one's not on your list?
No.
Well then, Hunter, let's just mention it real quick because it's an amazing movie.
It's What Dreams May Come.
Yes, it's such a sad,
it's such a pretty
beautiful
film,
movie.
but depressing as hell.
Yeah,
which takes its title from...
it's Shakespeare, isn't it?
It's the to be or not to be speech from Hamlet that we were just talking about.
Yeah.
For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come.
Oh, it's such a. Have you seen it, Jesse?
Nope.
So basically, his wife.
Ariel made me watch it in college, so.
His wife commits suicide, and I forget how he dies, but he chooses to.
I can't remember either.
He chooses to go to hell to find her and bring her back, basically.
Yep.
It's Dante's Inferno style.
No, it's not. It's not a Divine Comedy.
No.
It's
no.
Let's go to Hunter.
It is much more depressing than that.
It's got a happy ending, though. It's got a happy ending.
Yes.
Yeah. This one gets very close to. This is where Jesse thought that we were going to cross over because I imagine he has the 2009 movie that Paul Rudd put out right around this 2008 movie that I'm picking for my number 3. Paul Rudd's in both of them, but only Paul Rudd is in Role Models with Sean William Scott.
That's a very good film.
It's so funny. So if you've seen nothing from the movie, you have probably seen Paul Rudd try to order coffee and get very upset about it at a Starbucks.
That is the only one that doesn't mean 20.
Yeah, he wants a large black coffee, and they go on and on about how venti means large, and he goes, no, venti means 20. Large is large. In fact, tall is large, and grande is Spanish for large. Venti is the only one that doesn't mean large. In fact, it's the only one that's Italian. Congratulations, you're stupid in 3 languages. It's such a dickhead thing to do, but it's so funny.
And I really love, like, Elizabeth Banks is his girlfriend there.
Yeah.
And she just follows it up. It's like, it's called venti because it's 20 ounces, dickhead. He's like, oh.
But he gets to go on even before that because he's still arguing with the barista. He's like, "Do you accept lira or is it all euros now?" Like, she finally has to put him. She has to put him in his place a minute later. But yeah, no, that's a great movie. The two of them get into the Big Brother program, and it's just it's very, very funny. McLovin.
I was about to say McLovin's in it.
They do a bunch of LARPing
look the coolest fucking thing ever.
Well, because it's LARPing, but also you get to be Kiss. You get to be the band Kiss. Like, why not?
It's also like they have a full-on Rin Fair every time they.
Oh yeah,
yes.
Every time they get into it.
Yeah.
And
Jesse,
the costumes are great, and it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jesse. Have you never seen the Knights of Badassdom?
That is actually a very good movie.
Not about that movie.
They talk about making LARPing look badass. Yeah,
it's true.
But this makes realistic LARPing look good. But yeah, no, Shelby's right. It's because it's a Ren Fair every time. But yeah, it's a delightful film. I really, really enjoy that. And it's like Paul Rudd has so many of those really good rants. Like, he's such a good dickhead in that movie, and the whole thing is about him trying to move past that, and it's delightful.
He just has that.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say he's naturally likable and naturally unlikable, depending on which way he turns his dial.
You're welcome, Hunter. We did all the work for you.
It's one of those movies where he just all the fucking lines from it. Because I was looking up the speech, but I forgot this is also where he suggests that he likes to rock and roll all night and part of every day. He's like, I usually have errands. I can only rock from like 1 to 3. That's all I got. It's good.
Oh. All right. My next pick on the list is the greatest sci-fi film of all time. At least sci-fi action film. Don't at me. I stand by it. The original Terminator. Dick Miller is briefly in it when Arnold Schwarzenegger buys the gun from the shop and then just shoots him. But hey, it still counts. It's still Dick Miller, baby. And
that was the assignment.
Yeah, and Terminator
is got to be in it.
Is one of the best films of all time. I actually like Terminator 1 more than Terminator 2.
More.
I'm the opposite because I think Terminator 1 had more of like that horror feel to it, and T2 was a straight up action movie. In the same way that Alien was a horror film and Aliens is an action movie with horror elements. You know what I mean? I like that slow burn more of the first one. And Arnold was, other than that scene where he cuts his eye out, which at the time probably looked amazing, but nowadays when you go back and watch it, it just looks bad. It looks like a cheap Arnold mannequin that they cut an eye out.
Which is exactly what it was.
Right. But everything else is great. The exoskeleton for the Terminator, it still looks incredible. Linda Hamilton's great in it. Michael Biehn is in it, and he's fantastic. And of course, Dick Miller. It's just really, really good. I love the original Terminator. I love all the Terminators except for Salvation. That is a hot piece of garbage.
Even 3?
I do like 3. 3, after you watch Salvation and the newer Terminators, except for Dark Fate, that's actually really good. but go back and watch 3. 3 is so much better than you remember it. The Terminatrix.
3 has a really good ending.
3 has the best ending.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they think they've won, and you find out that that the Terminator there was no stopping Judgment Day. That's the point, is there's no stopping the inevitable. So all he did was trick them into safety. It's a great ending. It's such a downer, but it's such a great ending.
Yeah.
But yeah, Terminator. Let's
watch that again. It has been a long time.
My next one is Florence Foster Jenkins. She plays the title character.
I don't know what that is, dude.
Who is an actual New York heiress who wanted to be an opera singer, but the woman could not sing to save her damn life. So it's a very comical, but at the same time slightly tragic, because this woman just desperately wanted to be an opera singer, but could not sing at all.
But does she become an opera singer in the end?
No. She does a show because her manager and her friends do their best to let her have her moment. But she's awful.
I don't want to see this movie at all.
It's so good, though.
Sounds depressing.
It's not. It's still a good story.
All it teaches me is that I was right in the assumption that I'll never be good at the things I'm not good at already. There's no up, only middle. All right, Jesse.
All right, bring it back up here. The 2009 film that Hunter was referencing is "I Love You, Man."
Yeah, it was.
A truly
all right, Jobin.
Right, bros. Anyway,
short circuits, man.
Yeah, he really does.
Hey, Mitch McConnell.
So this also stars Paul Rudd, obviously. But Jason Segel co-stars in a movie about a guy that's getting married. Turns out he doesn't have any dude friends. He's always had, girlfriends and stuff like that. So he needs a wedding party, for his side. So yeah, it's all about him trying to find a best friend. He finds Jason Segel's character Sydney, and they have a great time. They're both big fans of Rush. It's just a wonderful bromance film. Everything about it is just a lot of fun.
The scene where he meets, where the two characters meet, those two the main characters meet, at the
open
home
house
showing. Yeah, the open house, the home showing that Paul Rudd's doing, and Jason Segel just calls out the guy who's farting while he's following his girlfriend around. Watch how he moves when he does this. And when he looks back, I think we're gonna bounce out. This house is a little too expensive, and Segel just goes totally, and it smells like fart. That's a great bit. That's a great fucking bit.
And it's Lou Ferrigno's house that he's selling.
Yeah. I should have forgot about that.
Because I think he mentions he rolled up here in a '93 Camry or something like that. He's just trying to be impressive in front of this girl he doesn't know.
Oh man.
J.K. Simmons is in that movie as Paul Rudd's dad, and he's pretty phenomenal. Yeah. Andy Samberg is in that movie.
Wow, that had to be old. I mean, that had to be baby face. Yeah.
2009, yeah.
Wow.
I forgot that.
Andy Samberg is older than you think.
Yeah.
He says so much shit in this movie that I said for a long time. When he's trying to get off the phone and he does the "I will see you then" or "I will see you on another time." I use that
I'm
shit
very
all
confused
the time.
by that. Are you going to be there or not?
Will you see me soon or no?
I am now curious what Jesse's number one is going to be.
I already know what it is.
I think a lot of people probably do.
It's actually, okay. It's in my head. And I want to see if I'm correct.
But text it to me. I'll let you know.
All right. Well, I got to go next, right? Am I next?
No,
Shelby is.
Oh shit! I thought Hunter just went. Good lord, Shelby, go ahead. Jesse, I'm gonna
because we were talking about Paul Rudd.
Yeah, that's threw me off.
I'm gonna go with Glass Onion.
Oh.
He is Benoit Blanc, the Southern detective. Everything about Glass Onion, it was humorous. Again, it was that whole he's a detective. He's, I guess, not necessarily a spy, but he's in that role where he just kind of does really cool shit all the time.
Was that the follow up to Knives Out?
Yes.
Okay. I haven't watched that one yet.
Oh my god, they're both so good.
Yes.
It's
the way he delivers
Johnson,
that
right?
line. Yeah, Ryan Johnson.
Because I remember him being pissed that they put a glass. What is it called?
Glass Onion.
Yeah, but what was the other one? Knives Out. Is that what it was?
Knives Out.
Yeah, because I think it's called like Glass Onion, a Knives Out.
A Knives Out story.
Mystery. Yeah, and he was so pissed that they put that on there. He was like,
"Cast of that movie is insane."
Oh yeah, Batista's in it. That's all you need.
Yeah, Batista's allergic to bull.
I was gonna, and this brings me right back to what I was gonna say earlier. That fucking the delivery on that line when he's like figuring out he put pineapple juice in his drink. It's just dumb, and the girl goes, "That's so dumb. It's brilliant." And he goes, "No, it's just dumb." Don't give him more credit than he deserves. No, it's just dumb.
That whole monologue was so damn good. Like
they always are.
Dumb.
I like it, like where he just realizes he's like, oh fuck! I told you what to do. You weren't even original.
It's a wonderful, wonderful movie.
To correct your previous statement, yes, Batista is in it. Yes, that is very good information to have. But Natasha Lyonne is in it.
Also fantastic, amazing.
And so is Stephen Sondheim himself.
Yeah, really? That's awesome. Natasha Lyonne
for
is
like
cool.
3 seconds, for what it's worth.
Hey, that's about the Dick Miller treatment in Terminator, so it's all fair, baby.
I'm surprised Shannon didn't have a crush on Natasha Lyonne.
Go back and listen to some of the past episodes. I did. Big time.
Wait, you did?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my.
Motherfucker. Son of a bitch. He's been waiting for that. I didn't get the grapefruit technique. We'll do it next week. Let's go to Tanner.
Oh, no.
Jesse, I presented my guess. Please confirm or deny.
I was going to wait until when I actually gave it out.
Okay.
I want to go with a 1 hour photo.
Yeah.
Watch that one either.
Movie.
That is a really good movie. Very, very creepy. Robin Williams,
yes.
Like, you could tell the man was unhinged.
He was a good bad guy. He was a good villain. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 hour photo is creepy as shit.
Well, son of a bitch. I typed in 1 hour photo just to remember who else was in that movie, and of course it immediately played a video, so the people at home are going to hear like something like Robin Williams start, and then I hit close. Yeah, that's fine.
Well, at least you saved
Gary Cole.
Connie Nielsen. That's who I was trying to think of. Connie
Clark
Nielsen's
Gregg was in that. I forgot about that.
Hey, Gary Cole. Gary Cole was Eric LaSalle. Love Eric LaSalle. Love him. Great actor.
Yeah.
Let's go to Hunter. He was in
That's true. True.
Sorry, I picked Vale up because her tail was all fluffy. She was in the hallway, so she got freaked out by something.
I have one that regularly gets scared of her own shadow.
When Paul Rudd took on the role of Ant-Man, that had to make it on here somewhere, because even though Ant-Man is not my favorite superhero, he has done a whole lot to make me care more about that character. I am going to go with a more cameo version of it, though, and I'm going to go with his... the movie I'm picking is Captain America Civil War.
Civil War,
He's not in it for a significantly long period of time, or at least he's kind of in and out because he's not the star of it. But if for no other reason than the scene where he first meets like the
Captain America
rebellious superheroes, I'm shaking your hand too long. This is great. And then he looks at Wanda and just goes, "I know you too. You're great." And just he's completely caught off guard. I feel like that's the last time you really get that Scott Lang like totally out of his element, doing everything he can to be a good guy in the wake of getting some very weird shit done to him.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my favorite probably version of that character, honestly. He throws a lot of good stuff around in there. He goes toe to toe with Tony Stark. He's literally running around in his suit, and Tony's going, who's talking? He's like, "It's your conscience." We don't talk very much anymore, as he's just tearing out wires. It's a good bit. That's probably my favorite turn of him as Ant-Man.
And I agree 100% in that I never cared about the Ant-Man character until Paul Rudd played him.
Yeah.
Same thing with like, I mean, that's a lot of those guys though. I never cared about Iron Man. I never cared about Captain America, Thor.
Not many people did.
No. Until the MCU. Like,
that's the reason that the rights to those movies were never bought up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. No, now it's my turn.
Yes.
Yeah. We're gonna go with I'm gonna save my favorite one for last, but Night of the Creeps, another film no one's ever seen except potentially Tanner. Night of the Creeps, again, Dick Miller has a small role in it, but the movie itself, if you get a chance to watch it, it's amazing. It's about basically alien slugs that possess people and turn them into crazy kind of killers. And I don't want to spoil too much about it because, again, if you've never seen the movie, it's a must-watch for, like, 80s horror fans. You may remember the scene where the cop, played by Tom Atkins, he's at the sorority house, and they're getting ready for, like, the prom or something. And he looks out and he says, "Good news, your dates are here. Bad news, they're all dead." I don't know why. Tom Atkins is just so fucking good. I should have picked Tom Atkins. God damn it. Night of the Creeps.
I mean, we can do a round 2 on a different day.
We should. I want to revisit this. But Night of the Creeps, it's an amazing 80s comedy. Horror. More horror than comedy, but it's really, really fucking good. You should watch it. Lindsay.
Next, I'm going to go with a film that proves that Meryl Streep can sing, unlike her last one where she had to fake not being able to, but Into the Woods. She plays the witch in the Stromheim musical film adaptation that most of the play's fans, like, dog on, but I really enjoy the film.
Really thought you were going to go with, well, should I not say it in case it's your last one?
No, because you're probably right on what the last one is.
Okay, then I won't say it. Out of the Woods, that also has James...
Into the Woods.
Into the Woods. That also has James Corden in it, right?
Corden.
Yes. Yep. And Emily Blunt again. And
Am I wrong? Anna Kendrick is in that, isn't she? Yeah.
She is, yeah.
Yep.
And I was going to say, I'll forgive the fact that James Corden in it because they're in it too, so...
Yeah.
Hey, no.
I knew it. I knew the moment I said it. I knew Tanner was going to say something. All right, last round. Aaron, hour and 20 minutes into it. I'm sorry. We got heated. We came in hot.
This is 2 shows.
We're still hot.
You listen to the UFO stuff, and then you come back for the list.
Right.
2 shows.
It's 2 shows. 2 princes. Jesse.
All right. Shannon was correct. He messaged me privately about my final film. Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Oh, thank God.
Such a good movie.
Oh, yeah.
This is just one of my favorite movies in general. Also, for those, I guess, not keeping score at home, 4 out of 5 of these films also have Paul Rudd, which is why I was concerned that Hunter and I might have some overlap. Fortunately, Paul Rudd does have a massive library of incredible films.
He's been at it a little longer, and he does a little bit different stuff. Jason Segel has kind of a very particular lane that he sticks to.
This was the first movie I ever saw Russell Brand in. This was my introduction to Russell Brand.
It was probably the only time I actually liked Russell Brand.
He was good at Getting to the Greek.
Getting to the Greek was great.
I have not seen that. I haven't seen that film, in fairness.
It's a good one. If you liked Forgetting Sarah Marshall, you would like that in a very weird, kind of roundabout way.
But yeah, no, this movie, it stars Jason Segel, Kristen Bell, Mila Kunis, and Russell Brand are the kind of the 4 main characters of the film. Bill Hader's also in it as a supporting character.
Hold on.
Fantastic. Like,
I have to know what Tanner's timeout's about.
Who was the female cast in this, Jesse?
Kristen Bell.
Who's the other one?
Are you gonna pick apart? He said Mila Kunis instead of Mila Kunis.
Oh, I'm good.
Okay, all right, just making sure. Go ahead, Jesse.
Mila Kunis. Okay, fair enough.
He flipped me off.
Anyway, yeah, Bill Hader has some pretty spectacular scenes in it. The scene with just Bill Hader, you can hear him screaming from the phone, is one of like my favorite like funny moments in all of cinema. That shit's just hilarious. And yeah, Jason Segel gets broken up with TV star Sarah Marshall, played by Kristen Bell.
She's so pretty.
He goes on a Hawaiian vacation to try to forget about her, and she shows up with her new boyfriend,
douchebag Russell Brand.
Douchebag Russell Brand. Actually, no. Apparently, he's like super cool guy, just like kind of sex addict Russell Brand.
Oh, I mean in this movie. In this movie, he's a douchebag.
No, that's what I'm saying. In the movie, like, because they even have a moment where it's like, you're just so fucking cool. But yeah, Jack McBrayer's in the movie as like this super Christian. Like, he was a Christian virgin. They got married. They're there on their honeymoon. The whole movie is just fantastic. It's a phenomenal feel-good movie. Perfect movie to watch if you're getting over a breakup or just in general.
Can you imagine living in a world where you broke up with Kristen Bell and your consolation prize was Mila Kunis?
Right? damn.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd has another one of just like he's a very minor character in this film. He has a couple of my favorite lines in here that were apparently kind of ad-libbed. Like he's just walking along on the beach and he's just singing, "The weather outside is weather." For whatever reason, that just tickled the shit out of me.
I've only seen this movie one time, but the thing that I distinctly remember is just the vampire puppet musical.
Yes! Oh, yeah.
That's the one thing that's lodged in my head because I'm like, that's why he wanted to make that Muppets movie.
Yes. He wanted the vampire, like, he wanted that in this film because he's such a huge fan of Muppets and he just fucking loves Muppets. And it's wonderful. Shannon, you've seen this movie, right? Okay.
Yes.
Because I feel like you just very much would want this vampire musical to exist in real life.
I do. In the same way that when I watched Angel, and they had all the episodes where Angel was a puppet, then I was like, puppets make everything better. I've got 2 puppets in the next room, Jesse, waiting on me. I got a 3rd puppet somewhere else. I don't know. Wait, you got one of my puppets. You got my sexual abuse dolphin. Anyway, let's go to Shelby.
My last movie is Knives Out. I really
liked it. Yeah.
It was so good. When I first saw it, it was when Jesse and I first got together, really. It was in the very beginning of our relationship.
One of the only movies that I made her watch that didn't make her cry.
Yeah, because he had me for just picking out movies that made me cry.
Shannon got mad at me because I watched it without him.
It was his way of getting me to hold on to him.
Nope, Jesse didn't pick out any of those movies. Like, please don't make this about.
I had a similar thing happen to me with somebody, and it was like The Fault in Our Stars and all of those fucking teen romance books, and I cried at all of them. Go ahead, Shelby. You ever seen Fault in Our Stars? Fuck that movie, man.
I have not, and
oh my God.
I don't like movies like that. I hate those. That's why I won't watch them.
Oh my God, that's why I like horror movies. I don't feel sad during them.
Yep. But this is one of the first movies in a really long time that, as I'm watching it, I'm actively trying to figure shit out. I'm trying to remember the small clues that I've seen and how certain things were set and how other things were done. And it just, especially when again Benoit Blanc comes in and starts doing his thing, it's just so nice.
So to add to this, I want to point out for this reason. When we watched Glass Onion, because she knew it was a Knives Out movie, she came into the living room with a notebook and a pencil. And started. She was taking notes for the whole fucking thing.
I love reading mysteries, and I never get it right.
Shelby,
never ever.
Don't watch Law and Order. It goes back to the Robin Williams thing, because you're also supposed to guess who did it. But if there's a guest star on it that's a big celebrity, it was him.
They did it.
They did it
every time.
Yeah. You don't waste Robin Williams on a role like that.
But I can distinctly remember the moment when we were watching it, and it's so tense, and all of a sudden I just go, the fake knife! And Jesse goes, you're
right! Tanner, finish this out. What do you got? Tanner, you're muted.
So there's a lot of great movies to pick from. And I've been sitting here literally since my last turn trying to decide what I want to go with. I think I've got to go with Jack.
Oh, yeah, no, I enjoyed that one too.
Is that the one where he's actually a kid?
He's a kid that has a disease that he ages twice or 4 times as fast. I don't remember which, but basically by the time he graduates high school, he's an old man.
Yeah, it's got Jennifer Lopez in it. Who else was in that movie?
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams was definitely in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm just sitting here mad that you left off Patch Adams.
That's one.
I'm sorry. I'm mad he left off Mrs. Doubtfire.
See, I'm in Dead Poet Society.
No, I was mad he left off Aladdin.
I left off Aladdin for a reason. It's also the same reason why I left off
acting work as opposed to voice work.
No, it's not even that. Because I would have acted, because Fern Gully was one of my options I was trying to decide between. But I was trying to, the roles that he played in that I felt that touched me more, that affected me more. Like Aladdin was great.
Personal preference. I get it.
Yeah.
I understand.
Well, Aladdin is my favorite Disney cartoon.
Because you also left off Night at the Museum.
Yes, I did.
I liked him in Awakenings. That's one I always go back to.
Insomnia. That was a good
Is
one.
he an AI?
He's an
AI.
AI. Yeah.
And
Bicentennial Man.
Bicentennial Man is the one I was thinking of, though.
Goodwill
Rush
Hunting.
was the one I was really going to go with originally.
Goodwill Hunting.
Goodwill Hunting. That's an absolute. What do they call that? A banger, I think.
Yeah. And
guess you're
actually,
just not that good. Will Hunting.
How you like them apples?
In researching for this, I found out he was a movie I didn't know anything about. He played in Hamlet.
Yeah.
Starring Kenneth Branagh, Kate Winslet.
Oh, yeah, he's in the 96 Hamlet.
Yeah.
Which character is he? Because I don't remember.
He is. Let me find it here. Where'd it go? I just had it here.
Hunter, what is the best? Why he's looking that up?
He's Osric. He plays Osric, which is a very quick role at the end.
Hunter,
what's Billy Crystal was the first gravedigger.
What's the best version of the to be or not to be speech? Who gives the best version of that?
Oh God! Don't put me under pressure. So the easiest one for you to find is David Tennant. Did it in a version for the BBC several years ago. He's not the best version overall. It's just the easiest to find. But if you look it up on YouTube, and I'll have to find the actor. He's the only black person I've ever seen do this role. But he did a version of it, and he was playing it on in the West End in London. But he did a version for YouTube, and the way that it's the interpretation of the line where he figures out like this is why people don't commit suicide. His is very downcast and very sad, where a lot of people, because Hamlet is kind of crazy at that point, a lot of people will play it up as almost like jokingly, as laughter. He takes it very sadly. I'll find it for you.
That's cool, but that's not the right answer. I'm gonna put the right answer in the chat.
Okay. Oh my God. I had honestly forgotten he did this, because I think I've seen Last Action Hero like one time.
I fucking love that scene, man. That gets me every time. Speaking of hunters, let's finish this off. What do you got?
Oh, you know what I got. Just tell me.
It's
which Paul Rudd movie recently would I be mentioning?
I wondered if you were going to put this on the list, because it's not his best movie, but it's a great movie that he's in. But again, it's dear to us.
Right. And again, that was the assignment, was great movies that these people are in, not necessarily that they are like the stars of or great in. It's Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yes.
Admittedly, what I'm more excited about in a lot of ways is the upcoming sequel, that they've tentatively titled Firehouse. Or not tentatively, it's the shooting title, the working title. Because I feel like he's going to have a lot more to do. I mean, I remember distinctly what I was doing when Paul Rudd posted a video online that was just like, hey, just checking in for work, and swung around to the Firehouse at the Hook and Ladder 8, thinking like, I'm going to get to see Paul Rudd as a Ghostbuster. That's the only thing I didn't get to see of him in this past movie, because he was playing more of a Louis Tully role. So I'm hopeful that in the sequel he'll actually, like Louis, get to suit up and do some stuff.
That'd be awesome.
But yeah, it's a great movie. He's great in it, even if he's not the star. And I'm looking forward to more of that in the future.
I think if they do the next one right, I think it could be the best, not the best Ghostbusters movie. You're never going to beat the first two, but I'm so excited for the prospect of Winston being in charge of things. I'm so excited for seeing McKenna Grace and Flynn Wolfhard. It's Flynn Wolfhard, right? Am I right on that?
Finn Wolfhard.
Finn Wolfhard. I'm excited to see them a little bit more grown up. I'm really excited for this movie. Goddamn, I loved Afterlife, and more Ghostbusters, man, please. And don't put fucking Harold Ramis in this one, because I don't want to cry again. Just don't make me cry. Just don't spit on me. I don't think
they will. I think they.
It's a game.
Just a game. No, I think they got what they were going to get out of that.
What I need for this next movie is it to be exactly like the video game. Like, they've got the firehouse back, the new Ghostbusters are there, and they got the bookshop right next door.
I'm curious about, you saw the logo, right? With like the ice over it or whatever?
Yeah.
I am curious about what that's going to go. No, it'll never happen. I'll just go to mine. My last one is one of my absolute favorite horror films of all time. Dick Miller is a big part of it. I think I've shown most of you this film. I don't know if Hunter's seen it, but I remember we watched it at Halloween a couple of years ago. And that is, I'm a huge fan of the show, and I'm a huge fan of the movies. Tales from the Crypt presents Demon Knight.
I've not seen it. I would like to, but I have not.
It's so good. So basic story is there's a guy on the run from Billy Zane. I think it's William Sadler. William Sadler's on the run from Billy Zane. And you find out it's because he is like this soldier from, I want to say, World War One, who literally has the blood of Christ, and this demon played by Billy Zane is trying to get it back. And they end up going to this little kind of like bed and breakfast inn type place, and Dick Miller is the town drunk that the main character confides in throughout the movie. And he has, I don't want to spoil too much, but he has one of the saddest deaths in horror, just the way that it happens, because they play on his alcoholism, and it's actually kind of sad. But goddamn, Billy Zane is so good as the charming demon that, you know, I can't fault it. Also, Jada Pinkett Smith's in the movie with a buzz cut. Who would have figured? It's a really good horror film. It's amazing. It was followed up by Bordello of Blood with Dennis Miller and Erica Elniak. It's okay. It's not nearly as good, but Demon Knight was amazing. Lindsay, last one.
Which one is another musical? Mamma Mia.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yep.
It's just all ABBA all the time.
Also starring Pierce Brosnan.
Yes.
The best Bond.
Yes,
Hey,
indeed.
real quick, why do they keep making those?
I mean, they made 2.
What? No, they're making a third. There's another
Are
one
they?
coming out soon.
I didn't
Oh
know
yeah.
that.
Okay,
They've
this
been
I
showing.
hadn't
They've been
heard
showing
of,
it in
but
trailers
okay.
for everything. Oh no! You know
Really?
what? I'm wrong. I'm sorry. They're making a third My Big Fat Greek Wedding. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh,
Okay,
Different
I saw a
Yep.
trailer for. I'm like, okay, that's
But
that's different.
That leads to another question.
Same
Why do they
flavor,
keep
but
making more of
different.
those?
So just for the record,
Please
Hunter, people.com, Mamma Mia 3 is in early stages. Pierce Brosnan
Son of
reveals update on new Mamma Mia 3.
I am so tired of speaking things into existence.
Stop doing it.
I would like to not anymore.
Well, that one egg was 40 eggs?
Also, somebody somewhere is going to be mad at me for not mentioning Wet Hot American Summer, and I like that
Bob.
movie, but I like that movie. I did, but I don't think it's as great as a lot of people have made it out to be.
It was.
I think there are
perfectly
parts of it that are
cromulent film.
funny. Shannon will appreciate this reference. It is a spot fest of a movie. There are scenes that are funny, but the stuff in between is not as good. It's like a spot fest wrestling match.
I went and looked back at Paul Rudd's IMDb because I was curious about other movies, because I only really know him from like basically the movies Jesse was talking about, and like Ghostbusters.
He was on Cider House Rules too.
That's a good movie. That's a
Yeah.
fantastic movie. Yeah, I don't see a lot of films on here. Oh, Perks of Being a Wallflower. Bob also loved that.
He's not in that for very long, but he is in it.
If it's quirky and like you know, Bob watches it. If it's anything like, you know, a quirky indie film in any way, Bob will definitely watch it.
Paul Rudd had a weird run in the late 2000s, and like it was after I Love You Man and Role Models. I guess actually it was in the early 2010s, where he did like Our Idiot Brother and a few other things that were
Dinner
just
for
like
Schmucks.
Yeah, he got thrown in a lot of kind of almost stock stuff that I'm glad he's not doing as much. Well, frankly, I'm just glad Hollywood's not doing as much of anymore. But yeah, he had a weird little run there that you kind of have to gloss over. That's why it jumps from 2008 to like 2015 or so.
I'm looking for the one movie. Oh shit! I didn't know he was in Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah,
Damn, he's Dave
again,
Harris.
not for very long.
Yeah,
But yeah, he's
wow.
in that. He did a romantic comedy with Jennifer Aniston in '98, the name of which escapes me right now, but he was like a lead role in that, and somehow that didn't jumpstart his career at that time.
Was it The Object of My Affection?
Yep, that's the one.
Yep. Wow. Yeah, I don't even remember that one. Okay, well, we learned some things. And we are going to revisit this in the future, because I do want to do this again with different actors. I like this subject. So, Lindsay, good on you for this one. But we are going to cut this off here for tonight. We are going to be back tomorrow with an all-new Horse Time, the equestrian comedy show, the horse-related comedy show. Me, Kaz, and Hunter will be on there.
The Equestrian Hour.
You never know who's going to pop up on that one. Next week, it's a big week for Podzilla 1985. Tuesday, it's I Want to Believe Part 2, because might as well say half of this show is I Want to Believe. Me and Tanner and Hunter will be back to talk more about that UFO thing. In fact, in the time we were talking about that, I was looking up let me find it again, just as a quick preview. And Tanner, I'm going to send this to you. It's from TMZ, of course. TMZ, I get it. Don't get started. I also hate TMZ. But a congressman went on TMZ Live. Where was it? It's not too far away. Yeah, Representative Tim Burchett, I don't know. joined TMZ Live to talk about what the next steps is after this this Congress thing, including getting him, the guy behind closed doors, to see this evidence that he has. That's what they're pushing for. He also mentions all the roadblocks that he has been trying to get more disclosure on UFOs for years, apparently. And he talked about all of the roadblocks that the government has put in front of him in getting it. So maybe this is his end. This is his way to get it. I don't know. We'll talk more about it on Tuesday. That's going to be a great show. Wednesday, of course, we've got an all-new extras and epilogues. We're going to be talking about the Blair Witch Project. So it's going to be 2 times. Tanner, Hunter, Shannon, back-to-back. I Want to Believe, extras and epilogues. Thursday's another all of I Want to Dark. I Want to Believe in the Dark.
Is it? Because Thursday's an important day next week.
What is it? What is it?
Do the math.
I don't know.
Ninja Turtles.
Oh, Ninja Turtles comes out on the... Yeah. So... we'll see that earlier in the day, probably. That should be fine. So, all new after... What are you talking about? I'm racking my brain here.
I think now I fucked it up because I was thinking that you were seeing Turtles on the same day as something else, and I was wrong. I'll talk to you about it later.
Okay, please. Hey, next week's my birthday, too.
There, it's slow.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, because it's the 5th, isn't it? It's not the 3rd.
No, it's the 3rd.
Or is it the 3rd?
It's the 3rd.
Okay, so I had it right. That's why you had me going crazy. It was like, is it the 5th? Am I fucked up?
Dude, I forgot my birthday there for a second. I'm not going to lie to you.
I thought it was a bit. I ain't gonna lie.
For 50 seconds, you thought there was monsters on the world.
Nah. All right, that's all next week. Until then, for myself and for Jesse, for Shelby, Lindsay, Hunter, and Tanner, thank you guys for tuning in. Go check out the past week's episodes tomorrow on New After Horse, and we'll see you guys next week. Where the fuck did she go? Did she hide already? There she is.
No,
She's not seeing the kitty cat play behind me.
They can very much still see you.
No, I hang up.
It's because I'm using my camera.
She said, no, I hang up.
I disappeared.
Why does it look like Shelby is imitating the cats that are in Lindsay's room?
All right, that's it. Night, everybody.
Hey, Jim.